So there was a scholar of the law who stood up to test Jesus and said, "Teacher, what must I do to inherit eternal life?" Jesus said to him, "What is written in the law? How do you read it?" He said in reply, "You shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your being, with all your strength, and with all your mind, and your neighbor as yourself." And your neighbor as yourself. He replied to him, "You have answered correctly. Do this and you will live." But because he wished to justify himself, he said to Jesus, "And who is my neighbor?" This is an excellent question. Who is my neighbor and who is your neighbor? Welcome everyone, Father Chris. Sounds so simple. Just follow those 2 commandments and you will inherit eternal life. Okay, love God with all your heart, with all your being, with all your strength, and with all your mind. Easy to do, no problem. I love my God and I know my God. God is one, there is no other. I don't need to ask which God I shall love or choose from among other gods. That's why that scholar of the law did not ask Jesus, "Who is my God?" but instead he asked, "Who is my neighbor?" That's right, who is my neighbor? Bingo, an excellent question again. And even though that scholar of the law was just trying to justify himself, he was able to find an answer to what most of us would probably want to know. Who is that person whom should I love as myself? How to choose from all those people I know? We all know what the word neighbor means. However, I wanted to know what definition the dictionary would give me, and so I checked. Neighbor is a person living near or next door to the speaker or person referred to. A person that is near. Love your neighbor as yourself. Love that person that is near as yourself. And Jesus gives us today a touchy parable about a man who was robbed and brutally beaten by some robbers who left him half dead on the road. Most people passing by, including a priest and Levite, ignored that poor man, even walked to the other side, pretending that they didn't see him. Only a Samaritan took care of that man. He didn't ask anything, he didn't care what others would think or say, he just knew that he needed to help. At that very time, and in that very same place, that victim of the robbery was a neighbor to those who were passing by. He was that person that was near, and he was that person in desperate need of love. But most failed to express that love and concern. Only the Samaritan man truly proved what it means to love one's neighbor. Love your neighbor as yourself. Love the person that is near as yourself. Jesus is very clear today and says that the neighbor is not a person we choose to love and care for, but a person that happens to be near to us, who or whatever that person might be, even a person we don't particularly like. And we may try to justify ourselves, just like that scholar of the law, thinking, for example, that if I help the poor by donating monthly to the missions and throw some cash to that beggar on the street, then I express my love and concern to the neighbor. But is this enough? Not for Jesus. Jesus, he always expects more, especially if at the same time you criticize the person sitting next to you in church, or you don't speak to your next door neighbor because you don't like her or him, or you constantly gossip about a member of your family or your co-worker, or bully another student in your class, or make fun of any person who has a different color of skin or doesn't speak your language. See what I mean? Or what Jesus means, I should say. The neighbor, that person that you should love as yourself, is the person near you at that very moment and in that very place, not the person you choose. You shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your being, with all your strength, and with all your mind, and your neighbor as yourself. Do this and you will live. So do you want to live? Then take care of your neighbor in the same way you are taking care of yourself. Who is your neighbor? Let's go to work. God bless you.